They say when adharma, or unrighteousness, crosses all limits, the Lord himself has to descend upon the earth. Today, you are about to hear a tale from the Treta Yuga, an age-long past, that changed the course of both Dharma and history forever. This is the story of the slaying of Ravana, the king of Lanka, Ravana, the one with 10 heads. A scholar so great that even the gods came to learn the scriptures from him, yet so consumed by pride that he dared to challenge the Lord himself. Because of a boon from Brahma, he was nearly invincible. He defeated the gods, spread terror across the 3 worlds, and then committed his greatest sin, abducting Mother Sita. From that very moment, Ravana's destruction was sealed. His fate was written. Wandering from forest to forest in search of Sita, Ram and Lakshman met Hanuman and Sugriva. In that sacred moment, a promise was made. Ram took a vow: Sita will return, and Ravana will meet his end. That vow was not just a declaration of war. It was a promise for the re-establishment of Dharma itself, an oath to restore balance to the universe. Soon, the mighty monkey army stood on the shore of the vast ocean. The waves roared, as if challenging them, asking, "Can you really cross me?" But with the touch of the divine architects, Nala and Nila, stones refused to sink. They floated upon the water, defying the very laws of nature. Thus the divine bridge was built from Setu, a pathway of hope across the churning sea. The thundering roars of the monkey army made the ocean tremble. Lanka, the golden city, had no idea that a sea of destruction was marching toward her. The war began. Kampana, Adhyora, Prohastravana's, mighty generals and warriors fell one by one like leaves in a storm. With every passing evening, the magnificent palaces of Lanka grew quieter. The celebrations ceased, and Ravana's eyes burned redder with fury. For the first time, a sliver of doubt, a tiny question arose in his mind. Is Ram truly just a human? Then came Ravana's most powerful son, the pride of Lanka Meghnad, whom the world calls Indrajit, the conqueror of Indra. His skill in battle was unmatched, his illusions, his mastery of celestial weapons. He was a force of nature. In the fierce battle, he bound Lakshman in the deadly Nagpasha, the serpent noose. The monkey army cried out in despair, their hope flickering like a dying flame. But destiny had other plans. Hanuman, the son of the wind god, flew across the sky, his devotion his only guide. He traveled all the way to the Himalayas and brought back the entire Dronagiri mountain, bearing the life-saving Sanjivani herb. With its miraculous power, Lakshman rose again, stronger and more determined than ever. The tide of the war turned once more. In a climactic battle, it was Lakshman who finally defeated the undefeatable. Meghnad was slain. For the first time in his life, tears of genuine pain, not of wounded pride, welled up in Ravana's 10 pairs of eyes. His favorite son was gone. His invincibility felt like a distant memory. Now, filled with a grief that turned into unholy rage, Ravana himself stepped onto the battlefield. His magnificent chariot, pulled by celestial steeds, shone in the sky, a dark sun heralding doom. The clash of titans had begun. Ram stood on the ground, a humble warrior, while Ravana soared in his divine chariot, raining down arrows. The earth shook, the heavens rumbled. Every arrow Ram fired was cut down by Ravana. Indra, the king of gods, watching from above, could not bear to see this uneven fight. He sent his own divine chariot, Matali, to assist Ram. Now, the 2 kings faced each other on equal terms, chariot against chariot, warrior against warrior. Ravana, with his 10 heads, unleashed a fearsome volley of weapons, but Ram, with calm focus, countered each one. He severed Ravana's heads one by one, but like a hydra, they grew back instantly, each more monstrous than the last. Ravana laughed, a sound that chilled the bones of the bravest soldiers. "You cannot kill me, O Prince of Iyadaya. I am eternal." Vibhishana, Ravana's righteous brother who had sided with Ram, saw the desperation. He knew the secret to his brother's immortality. The nectar of life, a gift from the gods, was hidden in Ravana's navel. He whispered this secret to Ram. "The source of his life is not in his heads, O Lord. It lies within his navel." Understanding dawned in Ram's eyes. He knew this was the final moment. He invoked the most powerful celestial weapon, the Brahmastra, the weapon created by the Creator himself. Chanting the sacred mantras, he infused the arrow with all his divine power. With the righteousness of his cause, with the pain of Sita's separation, the Brahmastra blazed with the light of 1,000 suns. He released the arrow. It flew straight and true, a streak of divine fire across the battlefield. It pierced Ravana's navel, boiling away the nectar of immortality. Ravana's 10 heads, for the final time, fell. His massive body, once a symbol of terror across the 3 worlds, crashed down from his chariot, shaking the very foundations of Lanka. A profound silence fell upon the battlefield.
The roars of war were replaced by a stunned quiet.
The forces of Dharma were vanquished. The sky cleared. Flowers rained down from the heavens as gods and celestial beings celebrated the victory. The conch shells of Dharma sounded across the land. It wasn't just the death of a king. It was the death of an era of darkness. It was the victory of righteousness over evil, of humility over pride, of love over abduction. The slaying of Ravana was a lesson for all of eternity. It taught us that no matter how powerful, how knowledgeable, or how blessed one might be, pride and unrighteousness will always lead to destruction. And that for the sake of Dharma, for the sake of truth, the divine will always find a way. This story has been told for thousands of years, and it will be told for thousands more. Because it reminds us that within each of us, there is a Ram who fights for what is right, and a Ravana that we must overcome. The battle for Dharma is eternal. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales from our epic history. See you next time. 10 faces, 100 eyes, all blazing with fire. He roared, "Ram, today your end is certain." Ram stood calm, as if the entire creation rested within him. Agniban, Pashban, Varan, Ravana's arrows set the sky ablaze. Ram cut down every single one. The battle was so fierce that even the gods hid behind clouds to watch. Yet when the sun set, Ravana retreated. Ram smiled and said, "Pride takes time to crumble, but crumble it surely does." The next morning, Ravana returned with all his remaining power. His 10 heads were severed again and again, yet they grew back. The monkey army trembled in fear. Why does he not die? Ram remained silent. Vibhishana stepped forward. His voice was soft, but filled with truth. Lord Ravana's nectar of immortality lies in his heart. Till it is struck, he will not die. A divine radiance flashed in Ram's eyes. Silence fell over the battlefield. Ram entered deep meditation. The wind stopped. The earth stood still. He took aim with the Indra-astra, the divine weapon granted by Lord Indra. The arrow glowed, radiant, like a piece of the sun held in his hand. Ram released the arrow. It tore through the air, pierced straight into Ravana's heart. The skies thundered. The earth shook. All 10 heads of Ravana fell silent. On the soil of Lanka, Ravana finally collapsed. A resounding cry echoed across the worlds, "Jai Shri Ram." Ram gently said, "It was not Ravana who was slain. It was arrogance." He turned to Lakshman and said, "Knowledge must never be despised, even in adversity. Go. Learn the final lesson from Ravana. Even in victory, such respect is found only in Dharma." Vibhishana was crowned king of Lanka. Mother Sita underwent the trial by fire. And thus, Dharma was restored once more. Ram killed Ravana's body. It was Ravana's sins that truly died. This story teaches us, no matter how great the power, if arrogance walks beside it, the end is certain. This tale touched your heart. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We'll meet again in the next